Welcome back. Time right now, 9:41. This morning we are talking about mortgage fraud, an all too common problem for many in the Sunshine State. And here to help us from becoming a victim is Becky Walzak of rjbWalzak Consulting. And Rebecca, welcome. Thank you so much for coming out this morning.
You're welcome.
I read somewhere there's that we actually have close to $250 million in mortgage fraud here in the state of Florida alone. First, if you could just start off by telling us, what is mortgage fraud?
Well, mortgage fraud is really when a borrower tries to get a mortgage by making false statements, not providing all the information, saying things like, I'm going to live in the house when it's really a second home, that kind of problem.
And the types of mortgage fraud that are taking place here in South Florida?
Well, the most common are borrowers not giving all their liabilities to the lender. Occupancy fraud, which is what I talked about with the second homes, is a big issue here in South Florida.
It's so hard because there's so many people are looking forward to getting their first home or even keeping their home. So there are people out there and just saying, you know what, we can help you out. How do you prevent yourself from becoming a victim?
Well, one of the things is that if someone, even if it's supposedly a mortgage professional, tells you to do something that you're not comfortable with, then it's time to move on to a different lender. If they say, don't worry about the fact you're not going to be occupying the property, just tell them you are. Or, so you have a car payment that's going to start in the next month. Don't tell them. You don't need to put that on the application. And that's how people get induced into committing mortgage fraud without even knowing it.
And once you find out that you have fallen victim, where do you go? Because, I mean, sometimes you're thinking that these people are going to be able to help you out, and you really don't know where to turn after the fact.
Well, there's an opportunity to stop it before you become a victim, and that's at the closing. So if in fact you're looking at your application, the final application you're signing at closing, and all of the information isn't correct, you should stop.
Okay.
And so many times borrowers are intimidated by all the paperwork, by all of the professionals. They don't think that they can stop right there and say this isn't right, but they can. But if you are in the position that you find out afterwards you're a victim, then one of the first things to do is to call your lender. You should also, I would talk to an attorney, but you can also call the state, the Florida Department of Law Enforcement. And there's also a new federal bureau called the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau.
So much. There's so much to know and so much out there that, you know, you just sometimes feel just inundated by it. And why is South Florida so prevalent for this type of fraud?
Well, it's because we live in such a wonderful place, and everybody wants to live here. We typically refer to what we call the sand states in the mortgage business. That's California, Nevada, Arizona, and Florida. Well, all of these other states can keep building and moving out, where Florida, we have a limited land mass. So properties become more and more valuable. And that's when people start to take advantage of people and say, oh, this house is now worth $1 million.
And we're also noticing that real estate is starting to rebound here in South Florida, so there's going to be more opportunity for mortgage fraud as well.
That is correct. It's actually property values as a whole in the state have increased 10% over the past year. Here in South Florida, it's around 25%. So if somebody says, oh, I can get you a great house and I can make sure the value is this, walk away.
Thank you so much, Rebecca.
You're quite
Very
welcome.
good. I guess that's the takeaway. If it's too good to be true.
Run, don't walk.
Run, don't walk. Thank you so much, Rebecca. And for more information on mortgage fraud, you can head to rjbWalzak.com. You see it right there on your screen. Thank you once again for coming and providing such valuable information for a lot of our people right here in South Florida. Now to Jen.